Do you want me to share some secrets? Want to hear me do a little straight talk about my job? Well, after I share this video with you, some of these things might not be so secret, but I think you're really going to benefit from what I have to say. I've been a trainer for more than 20 years, and throughout my life, I've actually owned more than 20 dogs, and I've worked with several thousand dogs and their humans. So to say that I have some experience with dogs, well, that's an understatement. So join me for a cup of tea, and I'm going to give you some tips that you might not have heard from other trainers. Michele here with How to Train a Dream Dog. Now, before I spill the tea here, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you get notified when the next video goes live. Alright, you're probably tuning in because you want to hear what I have to say about dogs. Well, I have a lot to say about humans too. After all, with every dog I train, there's at least one human that has to be educated too. Sometimes it's easier to train the dog. Don't tell any of my former students that. Today, I'm going to give you a little peek into my brain as a dog trainer. And I'm going to tell you some things that I wish I could have told some of my clients. Well, I mean, I did tell them some of these things, but sometimes I had to be a little nicer about it than just spilling the beans directly. I mean, I can't always be quite as frank as I'm going to be with you today. So buckle up and get ready to listen to me share my confessions. Alright, if a human is struggling with their dog, it's often one of these points that needs to be reset in the mindset. Did you notice what I said there? Focused on the human. Of course, the dog is there learning what you are teaching. But if he or she is not picking up what you're putting down, whose responsibility is it to adjust the methods? Yep, the humans. So you're actually the complex thinker in this relationship, and it's actually your world that the dog has to adjust to. Now, he can't teach himself, and he doesn't know what he doesn't know, but you do. All right, let's dive into the I've got to give it to you straight points that I want all of my clients and students and dog owners to know. Training is work. Yeah, sorry to burst your bubble that your furry sweet potato is not just going to be super easy from the minute you bring him home and in the door. It's work to train a puppy or any dog. You don't speak a common language yet. We have expectations that might be a little out of whack, and we have lives. Sometimes really busy lives that don't always center around dogs. Humans often forget that training a puppy is a commitment of time and effort. Did I scare you away? Am I making you think twice about this adventure that you set out on? Don't worry. One of the things that I really noticed in my work with private clients is that they usually called me when they weren't having fun. After all, the training didn't come naturally to them, and maybe they didn't really know what they were doing, or why it wasn't turning out so well. After working with private clients for years, I did a little career adjustment, so to speak. So instead of working in person with humans and dogs, I made an online course that actually caters to the humans, and I made it fun to work with the dog. And that's really what I want to teach you through this YouTube channel as well, that you can teach your dog and have fun at the same time. But it does involve some work on our parts, so be prepared to shift your schedule around, add in a few inconveniences and sacrifices, and do what it takes to help your dog learn to live in your home, all while having fun. Some of my clients were actually disappointed that I stopped the private training. I still do a few from time to time, but sometimes my students ask if I would be willing to board and train their dog and return them home fully trained. Sorry, it actually doesn't work like that. I wish it did, right? Magic wand. I go into that more in a little detail in this video, all about the different types of training right here, and including the pros and cons of board and train programs. But to be honest, people who are looking for a quick fix or for me to do the training and return a trained dog will be disappointed. The humans have to do the work too. It works if you work it, but it doesn't have to feel like work. All right, well, that's a lot of work talk. Are you ready for my next confession? I hope you like this one. Well, here goes. Tools aren't enough. Sometimes my clients or my students ask me which is the best leash or which is the best collar to make walks easier to teach a dog and to stop them from pulling. Well, I mean, I can definitely share the tools that I like to use, and to take a look at all the different tools I like, check out the links below in the description. But I have to give you some news you may not like. Tools can help, or the wrong ones can actually make it worse, but proper tools are not enough. Now, the tools have to be used in the right way, paired with the training, and done at the dog's pace. I like to share this pie chart here with my students as a way to illustrate that we really need a combination of the proper tools and the time for the brain to develop and practice all the right training. These things fit together like a spider web that will create lasting results from your puppy training. Now, if you're starting to feel like maybe training is just too much work, stick around, hold on. I promise that I can help you see that with the right mindset, it can be enjoyable and rewarding and easy. It works if you work it. Now, you might get tired of me saying that, but if it means you'll remember it, then my work here is done. My next confession that I sometimes want to share with my clients might surprise you. Sometimes not getting a puppy is the best option. What? Wait, what? A dog trainer just told you that maybe you should not get a puppy? Yep. But I'm not trying to discourage you. Just hear me out on this for a second. Of course I love dogs. I have 3 of my own. But sometimes I'll work with clients who really didn't do a lot of research before getting a dog. And they're really frustrated, and so is the dog. Maybe they work a lot, or maybe they're very busy with kids' activities, or maybe they're overwhelmed with taking care of an elderly parent, or they have a lot of health issues themselves. Or maybe they just don't realize how much puppies are like brand new babies and have a lot of needs. I mean, I'm sure they love coming home to a furry friend at the end of the day, but I have to gently remind them that the furry friend has needs too, that can't just be brushed off. Now, if you want him to greet you nicely and lovingly at the end of the day, you actually have to put in some time during the day, every day, to make sure his needs are met, and he knows what you want him to do differently. Don't despair. If one of those examples sounds like your lifestyle, it is still possible to get a dog and meet his needs. Sometimes an adult dog is a better choice. They're more content with leisurely walks in the morning, which is good for the human brain too. Then this senior dog might enjoy a day spent napping on a comfy bed and some human engagement and other nice outings. Then a nice comfy bed for more sleeping at night. Now, if that sounds ideal to you, consider getting an adult dog who has a little less energy than a puppy and maybe is just looking for a quiet home to live out his days. I mean, they still do need work, but maybe they would fit into your lifestyle just a little bit more. Just promise me to do your research on the dog first. Oh, and definitely finish watching this video. Now, believe it or not, sometimes I really want to be honest with my clients and say it's possible that no dog is a better choice. Maybe a goldfish might be best. At least for right now. Just think it through before jumping into a 15-year commitment that will take time and money. I can teach you, definitely, how to work with your dog, but I can't change your work or your lifestyle or your home life. If your life is not a good fit for dog ownership, no amount of training is gonna make it any better. Alright, I'm sorry if I was a Debbie Downer on that last confession, but I felt like I needed to be honest with you. Alright, let's move on. So, basics are also more important than tricks. Yes, that is what I want to share. I wish everybody knew this. Yes, I do know how fun it is to show off your puppy's silly tricks when company comes over. Maybe you want him to roll over and play dead, or maybe you just want him to shake or sit up on his hind legs and look all cute. Maybe you want him to jump over the big chair like a dog in an agility competition. Well, if you want him to do all those things, that's fine, and the dog will probably enjoy working with you. But if you don't also teach a solid foundation of the basic skills, then you're going to have an unbalance of skills that will probably create some conflict. A solid grasp of the basic skills. I like to think of the most important ones like impulse control and leash skills and recall will create a much more harmonious relationship than the mediocre skill level in these areas, and a mediocre grasp of the fun party tricks. So focus on the basics first. Get them rock solid and get some experience in training your dog. Build up that relationship a bit more first, and then you can add in those fun party tricks. Now, my dog Pickles loves to work with me. Sometimes, for my training videos, I have to teach him some silly things. Did you know that I actually taught him to lift his leg and pretend to pee for a potty training lesson I did for a commercial on potty training for puppies. It was so fun, and he definitely enjoyed it too. But there is no way that I was going to teach him that before I taught him the fundamentals like go to your bed or come, or even how to walk nicely on a leash. I mean, that pretend pee was like next level training for sure. By the way, if you want to peek into what I have to say about potty training, the new Puppy Starter Kit is your best resource. You can grab that from the link below this video. But wait until you're finished with our little chat here today, okay? All right, you'll also benefit from these confessions in everything you do with your dog, including the potty training. All right, next tip on dog training from an experienced and certified dog trainer and owner is we aren't looking for obedience. We're looking for a great relationship. Now, I have a lot of clients who have approached me and said, Michele, can you teach my dog to obey me? He's very stubborn. Okay, now you've got my attention. The S word, stubborn, makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up every time. I don't feel that dogs are stubborn or difficult. Puppies may seem like they refuse to do things, but it's usually because of confusion, lack of motivation, not enough reinforcement, or flooded with information, or maybe even overstimulated. It's up to the humans to figure out what's going on and how to approach the situation differently. Anytime you call your dog stubborn or bad, you are judging their potential based on your limitations as their trainer. Now, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings with that comment. I'm just giving it to you straight, like I would a friend. I really like to help people adjust their mindset. So if you're raising a family companion, you probably don't need strict obedience. This may be just semantics, but it's an important differentiation. So when I hear obedience, I think of service dogs or police dogs who've gone through very specific training programs that can take years to complete. Years. At a full-time capacity. They are trained to be bomb-proof, which means that the world around them could be crumbling and they'd still perform the tasks that they were asked to do for their handler. In fact, service dogs are even trained to perform what's called intelligent disobedience. This means that if the handler asks them to go right, but going to the right would result in danger for the human, the dog has intelligently disobeyed. Can you imagine the training that goes into that? Talk about next level. And that's not really what the average family needs for their dog. So most of the time, the humans I work with are looking for a companion who is well behaved, can walk nicely on a leash, greet guests calmly, and just be part of the family. And that probably means also no counter surfing, no chewing on table legs, right? Am I right? So I train humans to build a relationship with their dog, not strict obedience. If you need a service dog, there are some amazing programs out there for you. And of course, the handlers have awesome and loving relationships with their dogs too. But I mean, for the most part, my clients are simply looking for a great life partner who fits nicely into the human world, not obedience level of service dog. I can definitely help you with that. So think of training like building a relationship with your dog, not asking him to save your life. Another thing, breed plays a role. Some breeds more than others, so choose wisely. When asking my clients why they chose the dog they did, a lot of times it has to do with logical things like size of dog or if they shed, or maybe some nostalgic collections with a breed they had as a kid. I mean, those are all fine things to consider, but I really want you to dig into the breed characteristics of your dog or the one you might choose. You have to understand the instincts that that dog was bred for. Was the dog bred to chase or herd or jump or run or retrieve? Evaluate if those instincts will be met in your household. Now, breed is not the only thing to consider, but it's one thing to consider. Lineage and genetics also play a big role here too. But breed is a good place to start in understanding what your dog might really enjoy doing. Dogs can't just take a day off of work, load up the car with some camping equipment, and head to the lake for the weekend. They really do rely on the humans to provide the enrichment and exercise for them. I mean, can you imagine a friend who speaks a different language planning a fun weekend for you? Do you think that they would get it right? Maybe. Maybe not. Probably only if they really tuned into your body language and made it a point to get to know the things that you do like, and then the things that you don't love too. Be the friend for your dog, the one that tunes in what he likes to do and provide an outlet for it in a way that fits into your world. Even things that we don't find desirable, like digging and chewing, can be structured in a way that your dog can do them and you won't pull your hair out. All right, this next one is something that drives me crazy and I can't wait to tell you about it because I've just got to get it off my chest. I'm talking about the ridiculous videos you see online of dog shaming. The shaming dog videos are grossly misinterpreted canine communication. All right. I'm gonna try to keep my emotions under control here, but boy, do these videos make me mad. Now, I can guarantee you that these dogs are almost never feeling the way that the human is interpreting. The human is probably humanizing the dog's expressions and totally misunderstanding canine communication and body language. Dogs don't feel shame. That's a complex set of emotions that they aren't really capable of. They can be uncomfortable with the energy you are giving off. They can be confused. They can be trying to diffuse the situation. And most likely, that's what's happening when you see those facial expressions that most people assign to shame. In addition, we can't shame a dog for being a dog. Did he get into the trash? Maybe, especially if you left it accessible to him. Does he know it's trash? Nope. Why? Well, because it smells good to him and he doesn't realize you don't want him in there anymore. After all, it's still in the house. How would he know the difference between something that smells good that you gave him to eat and something that smells good that is in a tall plastic container? Remember, the trash can is a human concept. Dogs don't care if it's been discarded. They care if it smells good. So, next time you see those videos, just keep scrolling. Don't give them any more additional likes or comments. They aren't worthy and they really are just plain wrong. And to be honest, the more we engage in them, the more we perpetuate the wrong message about canine communication. Okay, rant over. Next. Okay, whoops. Rant isn't quite over just yet. It's just a new topic to rant about. So bear with me here. I want you to know this. Trainers who use dominance techniques are not keeping up with current science and education. Okay, I could really go into more detail on this one. Wait a minute, I actually did. I had a lot to say about this, so I made an entire video all about this myth that you have to dominate your dog in order for him to have a place in your life. In the video, I'm talking about outdated and totally misinterpreted concepts. Did you know that the guy who actually did the study on the wolves, on which this entire theory is based, regrets that he ever connected the study to dog behavior? It's true. Now, I'm not going to go into full details here, but I want you to go and watch that other video and learn more about it. And once you watch that video, you're going to be really fun to be around at parties. You'll hear your cousin bragging about his new dog and how he made sure to be the alpha leader, and you'll feel compelled to jump in and educate him on that outdated dog training concept. Believe me, I'm a real hoot to be around in social settings, and you will be too. All right, all kidding aside, it's an important concept to understand and know how that myth came about and why it has no place in current dog training methodologies. All right, what else do I want to share with you? I feel like we're really getting into some great concepts here. I hope you're enjoying them as much as I enjoy sharing them. All right, the next one, let's see here. Positive reinforcement methods may take longer for some dogs, but are more humane and results last longer. Now, there's no bones about it. It works if you work it. If you're dedicated to using fear-free techniques, like the ones I teach in my online course, you will have lasting results. For some dogs, it takes a little longer, but it's worth it because they won't fear you or your training techniques. I mean, can you imagine having a relationship with your child or friend based on fear? They go out to lunch with you because they're scared to say no? Yeah, that can be terrible for long term, and we don't want that for our dog either. So, put in a little extra effort at the front end and teach in the way that your dog learns positively and enthusiastically, and build a relationship for a lifetime. Alright, if you watched any of my other videos, you've heard me talk about the importance of a relationship. So I won't belabor the point anymore today. But just believe me when I say that there's no need for fear or negativity in dog training. Positive reinforcement works if you work it. Okay, for my last tip, I'm going to end with some practical advice. And before I share that last tip, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want more lessons like this. Now, I know that I've gotten all dog trainer conceptual on you there for a minute, but let's finish strong with something that you can use right away in your life with your dog. Not all exercise is created equal. Did you just groan a little when you heard that? Did you say, but Michelle, now you're really making more work for me? Yep. I'm sure you know that exercise is important to a dog. You got a dog and said, sure, I'll walk him. I know he needs it, but there's a lot more to it than that. So much more. Not all exercise is created equal. It's not as simple as just put on a leash and collar and walk out the door and walk down the street. If you've tried to do that, you've probably encountered some less than desirable results. Many factors can contribute to a dog walking poorly on a leash. They have pent-up energy, they're overstimulated, there are too many distractions, they haven't been reinforced correctly. The positive reinforcement you're using is not of high enough value, or, well, I could go on and on here. Honestly, it's common to have to pull back on the training dial and turn it down when you first start working on leash skills. This kind of walk is actually made up of quite a few skills all paired together. Oftentimes we have this lovely idea that once our dogs are old enough, we can walk out the door and have a perfect walking buddy at our side. But the reality is, it takes a lot of pre-training for a dog to walk calmly on a leash, regardless of the distractions around them. But there's a lot more than just a walk down the street type of exercise. One of the better types of exercise that the dog world is actually raving about lately are decompression walks. These walks are actually done with the pup in a back clip harness on a leash that's about 20 or 30 feet and in a very quiet area with minimal distractions. Think cemeteries and trails, empty parks or sport fields, or even empty parking lots. Now the dog doesn't actually care if it's a parking lot. The smells are just as interesting. These walks are so good for your dog's brain. Just letting him sniff and explore and be a dog. You can learn more about these walks in this video here. The whole video can be really good for you, but there's also a lot of mental exercise. If the dog gets a lot of physical exercise, but it's not paired with mental exercises, you might see some unwanted behaviors. It's like an athlete who knows no world outside of the gym and his sports practice. He won't exactly be the life of the party. Do your dog a favor and be sure to add in some fun mental exercises to his day. This could be things like puzzle feeders or toys like a Bob-a-Lad. It could be a game of hide and seek the treat. It can be an obstacle course that is easy physically, but a little harder mentally. Or one of my favorite mental exercises is training games. Leading the dog through fun training games where he has to learn something new and is rewarded handsomely for it is a great way to work out his brain and teach him how to live in a human world. And it's fun for the humans too. Now, if you're looking for more fun games, check out this video. Or for more information, you'll love my online course, 30 Days to Puppy Perfection. All right, did you enjoy our tea date? Did you learn something new? If all of your tea dates could be so educational, right? Well, I'll be back next week with more great content, so be sure to hit that subscribe button to learn when the next video is ready. Until then, drop me a comment and tell me what kind of tea do you like, or maybe coffee. Oh, and tell me something you love about your puppy too.